start with our today's lecture. In the last lecture, we had started with ports, and I think so we started with port 0. We saw what is the internal structure of port 0. Okay, and then we saw how does microcontroller do a write operation on port 0, writing logic 0, writing logic 1 on port 0. Let us summarize what we saw in the last lecture. So we started with port 0. Port 0 is from pin numbers 32 to 39. It is a multifunction port. It does three functionality. It can operate as an IO port. It can operate as an lower address bus A0 to A7, and it can operate as a 8-bit data bus D0 to D7. Okay, so we had looked into the structure. Look into the center of the slide, the multiplexer, the inverter, and that AND gate. All this together decides the functionality of the pins, pin numbers 32 to 39. So this at the center, this circuitry is the control circuitry deciding the functionality. What functionality? Whether pins should behave as an IO pin or A0 to A7 address bus or D0 to D7 data bus. Next, whenever the port acts as a data bus, it is a truly bidirectional port. But whenever it acts as an address bus, the pins act as an output pin, unidirectional. Whenever the pins function as an IO pin for output, right, either it will work as an output pin or it will work as an input pin. But whenever the port should act as an input, we should initialize the port to function as an input. Okay, so the middle circuitry decides the functionality of the pins. Okay, now on the right hand side, that is that 40 pin P0.x written. So it can be any of that 8 pin P0.0, P0.1 and P0.7, so on. So whatever circuitry you see here, it is repeated 8 times, each circuit for each pin. So such circuitry is present for all the 8 pins internally inside the microcontroller. And this circuitry is helping microcontroller to interface with input and output device and to interface with memory. Okay, such structure is available repeated 8 times. Next, each pin is associated with a latch, right? So there is a D latch. So this is such there will be 8 D latches, one latch for one pin. Next, each pin is associated with 2 tri-stated buffers. The triangle one you can see, these are the 2 tri-stated buffers. They are also called as drivers. Right? So when we saw the block diagram of microcontroller, every pin is associated with a latch, with a 8-bit latch and with a driver circuitry. So those triangles are the drivers. Fine. So that was the hardware part. And then we saw how whenever the port functions as an IO port, the upper MOSFET, see here, towards the pin side, we have 2 MOSFETs. One MOSFET is connected to VCC, other MOSFET is connected to ground. So whenever the pin functions as an input-output pin, the upper MOSFET is always off, right? And when microcontroller executes that instruction, see the instructions are written below. MOV P0, hash 86 hex. Or the other instruction is clear P0.0. So if I assume this is P0.0 pin, what is the execution of the instruction? Sending logic 0 on this pin. So how does microcontroller does this functionality while executing clear P0.0? What does microcontroller do? It places logic 0 on the data bus. It activates write to latch control signal. This is acting as a clock to the latch. So the latch gets enabled and logic 0 gets transmitted at the output. Q bar will be the complement of Q. This logic 1 gets transmitted to the lower MOSFET. Logic 1 to NMOS turns the NMOS on, right? And that's how logic 0 appears on the pin. Why? Because this pin gets connected to ground with the help of the on MOSFET. So this is how clear P0.0 instruction gets executed. Logic 0 appears on the pin. That is, the pin is cleared. Next we saw how do we write logic 1. So when is that logic 1 sent? When microcontroller is executing any of this instruction, MOV P0, hash 8F hex or set bit P0.0. So setting bit P0.0 is logic 1 sent on the pin, P0.0 pin. Right? So then how does this happen? IO input output operation mean the upper MOSFET is kept off by this control circuit. Okay. And when the instruction is executed, logic 1 appears, is placed by the microcontroller on the data bus. Then microcontroller activates write to latch control signal. This enables the latch and logic 1 gets transmitted. Q bar is its complement. Logic 0 is transmitted to the lower MOSFET, and this logic 0 makes the MOSFET off. So we said off means open circuit. Okay, mean this pin is floating now. That external pin, 40 pin, P0.0 pin is floating. So floating node, what is the voltage? The one which was there previously. What was there previously? Logic 0. But that is not what I want to do. What I wanted the instruction to do, set the pin. Mean the pin is floating and something is going wrong. So how do we correct this? We correct this by connecting a pull-up. So we use a resistor, normally a 10K resistor, and we connect a pull-up. Now with this, if the pin is floating, see the upper MOSFET is off, the lower MOSFET is off. So this pin gets connected to VCC through this 10K resistor. Hence it is called as a pull-up circuit, right? So the upper MOSFET is off, microcontroller while executing the set bit instruction, logic 1 is sent on the data bus. See, this is internally happening, huh? Control signal is activated, latch is enabled, logic 1 appears on the latch, Q bar is its complement, 0 is sent to the MOSFET turns off. Now this off and off means that the pin is floating, but now it's not floating. That is getting connected to VCC through this pull-up. And that's how logic 1 appears. That's how logic 1 is sent on the port pin. So unless and until you do not connect this pull-up, this is to be connected on the breadboard, on the PCB, externally by the user. So unless and until you do not connect the pull-up, you will not get a correct data on the pin. So this is compulsory for port 0. External pull-up should be connected to each and every pin of port 0. Is that okay, students? Or else the pin will not function correctly, right? Yeah, this is where I think so. We operation was what? Earlier operation was writing logic, mean microcontroller is sending data out. Okay, now we will see microcontroller is taking data in. Whatever you connect the pin, either you connect the pin to VCC or you connect the pin to ground, that logic is taken in, right? That is then and then only the pin data can be read correctly, right? Hope you all are there. So see, the input initialization should be done. For output, you need not do anything. Output, the logic is sent as it is. But for input, something has to be done. So then and then only the pin functions as input. See why it's happening? Look at the pin connection. This pin is connected to that pull-up resistor circuit. Then the pin is connected to the lower MOSFET. One to the pull-up, one to and one towards ground. Right. So if any of the MOSFET is on, suppose the upper MOSFET is on, mean the pin will be forced fully connected to VCC. If the lower MOSFET is on, mean that acts as a closed switch, mean the pin is permanently connected to ground. And this should not happen. What should pin show? The connecting to. If you connect to VCC, then and then only pin should show VCC. If you are grounding the pin, then and then only the pin should show logic 0. Mean these two MOSFETs should not come in picture. These two MOSFETs should remain off. then only whatever logic you connect will be appearing on the pin. Okay, so what should we do? So as the pin data should be taken, both the MOSFET should be kept off. Now see, upper MOSFET is already kept off by this control circuit. The lower MOSFET depends on what is the instruction the microcontroller executes. So what should we do to keep the lower MOSFET off? I should send some instruction which will turn off the MOSFET. And what is that instruction? If I send logic 0 on this lower MOSFET, this MOSFET will be turned off. Mean the upper MOSFET is already off. The lower MOSFET, we turn it off by this pin. There is only one connection left. This. Okay, I think so. I will repeat this. Fine. So microcontroller read operation. We should initialize the pin as an input first. So by that instruction set bit P0.0, we will be initializing the pin as input. How does this work? The upper MOSFET is off. Microcontroller programmer is putting logic 0 on the pin. So microcontroller should read this logic 0. Well, for reading this logic 0, we have to initialize that as an input. So set bit P0.0 will be executed first. So set bit is logic 1, control signal, delatch enabled, clear is 0, and thus low MOSFET is turned off. So the pin will show logic 1. Is that okay, students? But then programmer has grounded the pin. Programmer has grounded the pin, mean logic 0 is appearing on the pin. And this should be read by the microcontroller. Now the instruction that is written is MOV C, P0.0. So microcontroller logic 0 on the pin gets transmitted through the lower buffer to the internal data bus. And that's how, see in the green color, that logic 0 gets transmitted on the data bus. Okay. Why did the lower buffer enable? Because only read operation was happening with the pin. Okay. Now this logic 0 is taken internally, sent to the ALU. Inside that ALU, it gets complemented and will be placed, it is move C, right? This logic 0 will be placed on the carry flag. Right. Now this was read pin. The next operation is read, modify, write. Okay. Now what is this? So suppose see you have written an instruction. Okay. You have written an instruction CPL complement P0.0, CPL P0.0. So what all operations are happening with the pin? Complement P0.0, read the pin data, complement it, and send it back on P0.0. This is what you're supposed to do. It means what all operations are happening with the pin? Reading the pin, modifying that data, and writing on the pin back. So these are the respect to pin: read, modify, write. Okay, the pin is operations happening are read, modify the pin, and write on the same pin. At this time, the upper buffer is activated by the microcontroller. Which signal is activated? Read the latch signal is activated by the microcontroller. Right? Why? Operand as well as the destination operand. Fine, students. So see, let us see how does this both the instruction work. The first instruction is what? We are initializing the pin as an input. So the upper MOSFET is off and programmer or the user has placed logic 0 on the pin. Okay, the programmer has grounded that pin. Now microcontroller is executing the first instruction, set bit P0.0. So set logic 1 is sent out. So place the logic 1 on the data bus. Microcontroller activates write to latch signal. The latch enables, logic 1 gets transmitted, 0 on Q bar, 0 on the MOSFET, keeps it off. Is that okay? And now what the user has done? User has grounded that pin. So the first instruction has executed, set bit P0.0. Okay, now what is happening? The second instruction is getting executed. Complement P0.0. So since port is source as well as destination, read, modify, write is happening, microcontroller will enable the upper buffer. It will activate read latch control signal. This will enable the upper buffer. And see what is getting transmitted? Logic 1 is getting transmitted on the internal data bus. What will be getting complemented? Logic 1. Whereas what has programmer given on the pin? The programmer or the user has grounded the pin. Mean the data that is getting complemented is not logic 0, but the data getting complemented is logic 1. The pin data and the latch data are different. Okay, students. So you should be very careful, right? What do you want to do? Do you want to operate on the pin data? Then the pin should not be the source and the destination at the same time. Okay, if you want to operate on the latch data, it's fine. The pin can be the source as well as destination. Is that okay? Now see what is happening. The latch data is getting complemented. Mean logic 1 becomes logic 0 and then it is sent on the latch and then it is sent on the pin. Is that okay? So be careful. The point is the latch data and the pin data can be different. Right? Are you getting me? Yeah? Okay, students. Now, so many of the times, majority of the times, we want to operate on the pin data. So if I wanted to complement the pin data, I should not do something like this. What I should do? The pin data, I should write an instruction, take the data from the pin, save it somewhere, either save it in carry flag or save in bit memory, then complement the carry or the bit memory, second instruction. And the third instruction is take that complemented result and send it on the pin. I should not directly operate on the pin. Right? Right? Okay. Now the last point related to the port is pins 39 to 32 can also function as address and the data bus. Okay, they can operate as address and data bus. When will this happen? When some external memory is interfaced to microcontroller. Either it can be a RAM memory or it can be a ROM memory. Interface, these pins behave as address data bus. How does microcontroller understand this? With the help of that external access pin, EA bar pin, or whenever microcontroller is executing instructions, MOVX, microcontroller tries to look for external memory, right? While executing instructions, MOVC, right? Automatically, these pins start functioning as address data pins, right? Now, address data pins, this is decided by that middle circuit. Look into that inverter, the AND gate, and the multiplexer. Right? So whenever there is an external memory interface, that switch, can you see that switch? Multiplexer switch gets connected to the upper address data bus. Earlier it was at the downside where it was functioning as an IO pin. Now it functions as an address bus. It automatically gets connected to the address bus, and this is done by this control signal. Right? Remember, students, this control signals read the latch, write to latch, read pin, control. These are happening internally inside the microcontroller. We are not doing anything. Right? The controlling part is done by the microcontroller itself while executing that instruction. Okay, so the switch gets connected to the address data. This address, let us assume a 1-bit address, or it can be a 1-bit data. So how does it? As it starts acting as an address and data bus, the upper MOSFET will be turned on. Okay, up till now the upper MOSFET was off. Now what happens is, in case of address data bus, the upper MOSFET turns on all the time. Every time this MOSFET will remain on. Okay. Now Suppose this is logic 1 on the address A0 bus, or it can be a D0. How that gets transmitted on the pin, we will see. Okay. So how does it get transmitted? We will see. So suppose this is A0 or suppose this is D0. This is to be sent out. So what does microcontroller do? This is 1, that inverter makes it logic 0. This logic 0 gets transmitted to the lower MOSFET. Logic 0 turns the MOSFET off, and now the pin is connected to that VCC. Since the upper MOSFET is on, the pin gets connected to VCC. So what appears on the pin? Logic 1. So that's how either this is an address or this is a data gets transmitted on the pin. Okay. Now see, whenever we are using it as an address and data bus, this internal pull-up has turned on. So now I need not have an external pull-up connected. But even if you connect, it is not going to create a problem. Okay. What is my point? Whenever the pin, port 0 pin, acts as an address and data bus, we need not have the external pull-up, because the internal MOSFET pull-up is already on. But even if I connect this external pull-up, it is not going to change the logic. Logic 1, logic 0 that is sent out is not going to be disturbed. Okay, so that is how logic 1 is sent out. If I wanted to send logic 0, address and data bus mean the upper MOSFET is kept automatically. Now we are sending logic 0. Inverter makes it logic 1. Logic 1 appears on the MOSFET. This MOSFET turns on. Okay. And now, since both the MOSFETs are on, there is a current flowing through this. This is VCC to ground. And what is that pin showing? The pin will show logic 0. Is that okay? See, when do I get logic 1 here? Since both the MOSFETs are on, right? These MOSFETs, though they act as a resistor, there will be a large voltage drop across the upper MOSFET. So VCC minus the large drop, it will be 0. As well as through the lower MOSFET, it is getting grounded. So that's again ensuring that logic 0 remains on the pin. So that's how logic 0 gets transmitted. Is that okay? Okay, right? Now we will just go to one. Okay, we'll go to one small program. So read, modify, write. I just want you all to go through this program. We will write the program and then we'll see, right? Now, whatever we have seen, one thing you should remember, few things you should remember is, whenever microcontroller is reading the pin, it should be initialized as input first. This is one thing to remember. And if you want to operate on pin, if you want to operate on the pin data should not be the source and the destination at the same time. Just remember these 2 points. Okay, so one problem statement here, right? So we'll just go through it. So read the status of pin 2.0 and save it in this memory location, 22 hex. We have to just read the pin, whether the pin is logic 0 or whether the pin is logic 1, and we have to save that at some memory location. Now, whether this memory location is a bit memory or a byte memory, you can easily understand, because what are you reading? You are reading 1-bit information. You are reading 1-bit information, hence indirectly it is telling this is 1-bit memory. Okay, and if you remember the bit manipulation instructions, right? What were the bit manipulation instructions? Just a minute. ANDing, ORing, complement, clear, and what were the data transfer instructions? The data transfer instructions were MOV C, comma the bit, or MOV bit, comma C. Mean the data transfer instructions were with respect to carry flag. That is what I want to tell you. Okay, so we have to read the status of the pin and save it in memory. So the reading means input operation. So the first thing that you should do is how do you do that? Set the bit, sending logic 1 on that pin. Set bit, which pin? 2.0. Okay, what did we do here? What did we do? Initialize P2.0 as input pin. Okay, then what do you need to do? Read the pin and save it in memory. So reading the pin is MOV. MOV, read the pin. Where to save? I will save it in the carry flag. Which pin I want to read? P2.0. Okay, so what am I doing here? What am I? Read the pin. Read the pin. Okay. And then what I want to do? Save it in the memory. So saving it in the memory mean again MOV, data transfer. Move. Where to save? At 22 hex. It is a bit addressable memory. Which data? The data of the pin which is saved in the carry. So data from that carry flag, you place it or store it in that 1-bit memory. So what am I doing here? Save it in memory address 22 hex. Okay. And this, if this should happen continuously, it means if this should happen continuously, sjump, what to do? Repeat the reading process. Who is reading the pin? It is MOVC. So reading the pin continuously and saving it in memory, and it's done, and we end up the program, right? So why do we do this, right? So what did we do? We read the pin status and saved it in memory. So to do that, initialize the pin as input first, then take the data, save it in carry flag, pin data and save it in carry flag, and from that carry flag, save it in memory, and repeat this process. Why do we do such a program? See, many of the times, whether the switch is pressed or not, whenever the switch is pressed, you just release it. Push button switch if you have, you press it and release it. So whether it is pressed or not should be remembered. There I need to do something like this. Read the status of the pin and save it somewhere. Is that okay? Okay. So fine, we will see few more examples on how to operate on the ports, and that is very essential because microcontroller is meant for interfacing IO devices. So you should be very good in handling ports. Okay. So I stop here for today, right, students? Thank you so much. Bye, students.